Rescue efforts in Turkey and Syria continue, but hopes of finding many more survivors beneath the rubble are fading fast.
Russia continues its push to seize more land in Donetsk as the battle for Bakhmut rages on.
The US shoots down a fourth flying object in 8 days, ensuring citizens there is no national security concern, but putting authorities on heightened alert.
The Kansas City Chiefs become NFL champions after a thrilling comeback against the Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl.
An extraordinary and welcome event that is not explicable by natural or scientific laws. The definition of a miracle applies to spending 140 hours under the rubble of a collapsed building in freezing temperatures and coming out alive. Fatma, who's 25 and from Syria, did just that. And the team of firefighters who spent nearly a day to get her out were elated.
Çok mutluyum. Bir canlıya daha ulaştık. İnşallah bundan sonra daha çok canlı çıkartmaya umut ediyoruz. İnşallah bu binamıza daha çok yaşama ulaşacağız. Devam, çalışmaya devam. Durmak yok.
And they did keep going through yet another night, their fifth in a row.
Abi takip ediyoruz, gazeteciyiz abi.
Later, when we met the same group of firefighters who came to Antakya from Konya, they were rushing to another search site. Under daylight, the extent of the devastation caused by two major earthquakes that hit Turkey and Syria 1 week ago is overwhelming, even to the most experienced.
Düşünemezdim, rüya gibi.
But the only thing you will hear from these men is that nothing will stop them.
Yorulduk. Ama değer yani, bir canlı kurtarmaya değer.
It's worth it.
There's not a lot of time for talking. Multiple searches are ongoing simultaneously across the city. And this group, who so far pulled more than 160 people out of the rubble alive, hopes to keep breaking records and performing miracles.
Geldiğimiz enkazda canlı emaresine rastladık. Arama kurtarma köpeğimiz gece şu an arama başlatıyor. Oradan alacağımız sonuca göre arkadaşlarla birlikte devam edeceğiz. Bizler Müslüman insanlarız. İnancımıza göre hiçbir zaman ümidimizi kaybetmeyiz. Allah'tan hiçbir zaman ümit kesilmez. Çok uzun sürelerden sonra canlı çıkardığımız kişiler oldu.
Annelies Borges in Antakya, southern Turkey, for Euronews.
Varsa önce bir rol başlıyor. Bir rol. Bir şey varsa önce geceyi salıyorsun, sonra dinleme cihazı getiriyorsun. Tamam mı?
In Turkey, temperatures are dropping, along with hopes of finding any more survivors from last week's catastrophic earthquakes. In the southern city of Kahramanmaraş, a TV crew helps out rescue teams with a thermal camera, searching the rubble for signs of life. But the bodies are piling up. By Monday morning, the confirmed death toll reached over 33,000, and it's expected to keep rising. Here, cranes and bulldozers are being moved in, a sign that search teams believe there is no one left to save beneath this pile of rubble. The situation is equally desperate in the city of Hatay, which was almost completely destroyed by last week's 7.8 magnitude quake.
Oğlum yurt dışındaydı. Morali sıfırdı. Çabalıyordu, onu kurtarmaya çabalıyordu ama hiçbir şekilde kurtaramıyordu. Hep ses var ama hiçbir şekilde inmiyor, kimse göremiyor.
Over the border in Syria, a desperate lack of resources is proving detrimental to rescue efforts. Emergency relief officials at the UN say residents in the northwest feel rightly abandoned. Approval issues between the Syrian government and rebel-held territories are holding up aid deliveries, the hangover from 12 years of war proving difficult to shake.
احنا من اكثر من 12-13 سنه ما اجانا اي عتاد للدفاع المدني، يعني على مستوى ابيال، على مستوى بطاريات، نحن ما عندنا اي شيء. المعدات هي لو كانت متواجده عندنا كنا انقذنا مئات الضحايا وبجوز اكثر كمان.
Some UN aid has got through, and Lebanon's powerful Shiite movement Hezbollah has sent a convoy of 23 trucks carrying food and medical aid to Syria's quake-hit port city of Latakia. Officials say more aid will be sent to Aleppo and other affected regions.
This is what the residential buildings have become in the northern Saltivka suburb of the city of Kharkiv. It's the entrance point to the city, only some 20 kilometers away from the border with Russia. This building is a stark testimony of the scale of destruction that occurred here. Before the war, some 40,000 people lived in the area. There are only 2,000 to 3,000 now. Olga and her sister spent all their lives in Saltivka until their homes were bombed last year. They live in Kharkiv but often come to visit relatives. Each trip brings back painful memories. Olga's husband was shot down as he was getting fuel at a gas station.
Жизнь была шикарная. Честно сказать, без слез на это все не взглянешь. Просто, нет слов. Разрушили все. Оставили нас без любимых людей. Кто без родителей, без мужей, без сыновей. Без прошлой нашей жизни, без работ, без всего.
Displaced from one town to another, Olga and her sister are determined to come back as soon as they can. They came that day to visit their grandfather, who stayed on after the bombings.
Тут у меня беспорядок, проходите. Если зайти в комнату, у нас там плесень, потому что когда прилетела в торец, у нас внизу первый этаж разорвало трубы. Проходите, смотрите. Вот это все. Пошла плесень. Ой, отходит, вот, обои уже все, отошли.
The grandfather's not there. Olga takes us to his neighbors. Svetlana came back from Poland with her mother to check on their home. They're gathering their belongings.
Ну вот мы будем съезжать, невозможные условия. Тут опять будут стрелять, мы поедем где-то в село.
Reconstruction outside is underway, but the task is huge and the future uncertain. Daily life is a challenge for those who decided to stay. This school was turned into a humanitarian hub.
Не работают здесь магазины в этих районах. И поэтому те, кто возвращается, они пешком идти до какого-нибудь другого района, чтобы что-то купить, или магазина, это очень далеко. Поэтому привозим сюда помощь.
These women used to work at the school canteen. They now deliver hot meals to hundreds of people each day.
Півроку нас тут не було, потім ми повернулися. Живемо вдома. Коли нас тут не було, я розуміла, що при першій можливості мені треба повернутися і робити добру справу, щоб людям було легше. Тому ми повернулися і працюємо, допомагаємо людям. Миру хочеться, більше нічого не хочеться. І щоб були всі живі та жили як раніше. Це єдине, що хочеться.
Aid workers and beneficiaries alike here are adamant they will stay in Saltivka until victory comes.
Мій син на фронті. Я сама працюю викладачем. Тобто онлайн я веду заняття. І я буду зі своїм Харковом і зі своєю Україною.
Valerie Goria from Saltivka, Ukraine, for Euronews.
The US has shot down another unidentified flying object in the fourth military operation of its kind this month. This one downed near Lake Huron, close to the Canadian border, on Sunday afternoon.
This thing is so weird.
It was first detected above military sites in Montana and comes just a week after US fighter jets brought down a suspected Chinese spy balloon off the coast of South Carolina. The object had been hovering over the country for days. Officials say it had been used to monitor sensitive sites. China maintains it was a civilian meteorological airship that had blown off course. 4 flying objects in North American airspace have been shot down in just 8 days, increasing diplomatic tensions between the US and China.
A Chinese Coast Guard ship allegedly aimed a military-grade laser onto a Philippines vessel earlier this month, temporarily blinding some of its crew. The Philippines say the Chinese ship then reportedly moved dangerously close to the vessel, at around 137 meters. Beijing claims the South China Sea as its own, and the Philippines has filed around 200 diplomatic protests against China for aggressive acts in the region. In response to the alleged incident, Beijing says that Coast Guard vessel trespassed into its waters.
Perhaps more show-stopping than the Super Bowl performance itself, Rihanna revealed a growing baby bump in her much-anticipated return to the stage on Sunday night, breaking the internet and melting hearts. 4 years since her last live performance, 7 since her last studio album, the Barbados singer was sure to make a statement and once again is setting the rules for maternity fashion. She performed well-known hits like We Found Love, Diamonds and Umbrella to the screams and cheers of adoring fans as the Philadelphia Eagles played the Kansas City Chiefs.